And that's who took care of me when my mother gave me away.
They say it's not where you've been, but where you're going that matters.
Granted to me.
Even so, when Georgia Cruse pulls out the pictures that chronicle her life, she can't help but marvel at the road she's traveled.
First thing my grandmother taught me how to cook was homemade biscuits.
As she gazes into the black and white, her mind sometimes drifts to the gray, a sad life that began at birth when her mother abandoned her, left her for her grandmother to raise. She remembers what a hard scrabble life that was.
We lived on the sharecropper's farm, and we had to pick cotton. I started picking cotton and hoeing cotton and picking beans and all of this stuff when I was like 6 years old.
But in the midst of unparalleled poverty, Cruse had an abundance of love. Her grandmother cherished her, lavished affection upon her, and instilled in her a moral compass she hoped would keep her granddaughter on the straight and narrow. For many years it did. At 17, when a man raped her and left her pregnant, Cruse gave up a basketball scholarship to keep her baby.
Well, the baby's a part of me because I did tell my coach, and he tried to get me to have an abortion because he told me, you know, this is going to end your career.
But that rape affected her in ways she couldn't have foreseen. And eventually, that so-called moral cruise control began to veer off course. Her self-worth was the first casualty of the rape. She soon cheapened the values with which her grandmother had raised her, until one day in 1990, when she heard the sickening sound of a prison door slam.
I started transporting drugs over the Tennessee line, bringing it to Tupelo. And they paid me a good bit.
Arrested, indicted, convicted, sentenced to 640 years in prison. Certain she'd never again see the world beyond a prison wire barrier, she started to take stock in how she got there. She found Jesus in jail and decided to make the most of life on the inside. Eventually, the warden assigned her to work in the prison's chaplain department as a cook. And that's where she saw a miracle start to take shape.
I got to cook for the governor. I got to cook for Stuart Irby Sr., which was the richest man in Jackson, Mississippi. I got the House, the Senate, representatives, and they all felt like I didn't deserve to be there.
Get this, 12 years into a 640-year prison sentence, Cruse walked out of prison a free woman and set her heart toward helping others avoid ending up there. She graduated from Ole Miss with a degree in social work, volunteers at Tupelo's Lift Incorporated. She eventually became pastor of her own church and regularly opens her doors to the least of these, Tupelo's homeless.
I've had as many as 30 people sleeping on couches, love seat chairs, making pallets.
Yes, Georgia Cruse is indeed positively Mississippi.
I try to look through God's eyes and not through my eyes.
A picture-perfect reminder of what a little faith and a lot of love can overcome.